CybersecTV sat down for an exclusive deep dive with Luca Tagliaretti, Executive Director of the European Cybersecurity Competence Centre. From his early steps in public policy to steering Europe's cyber resilience strategy, Tagliaretti offers an inside look at the ECCC's mission, its growing impact, and how it's driving cybersecurity innovation across the EU.
Well, I like to describe them in three main missions. We have now managing more than 200 projects. The priority for the next 2-3 years are...
Could you tell us a little bit about the Atlas?
3 tips I can give is to ensure that when you present your project proposal...
What are the capabilities that each member state should have by 2027?
They're my top 3 bets, you mean?
Top 3 bets, like... Hello everyone, my name is Miruna Mihailovic. We are here on a special episode on CybersecTV. My guest today is Luca Tagliaretti, the Executive Director of the ECCC. Hello Luca and welcome.
Nice to meet you. Good morning, everyone.
Nice to meet you as well. First of all, let's talk about yourself. How would you describe yourself? And could you walk us through your career path leading up to the ECCC?
Well, I'm a fan of Europe. I spent most of my professional life in European institutions. I started at the ECB, the European Central Bank, before the euro was introduced. So I was there when the first euro was launched, and I was there for a long time, almost 20 years, in different roles. The last one being involved in protection of counterfeit from digital attacks. I then moved to Tallinn, where I was first deputy director and then interim executive director of another agency, the agency called EULISA, that is responsible for all the database of law enforcement border control in Europe, which basically help protecting the external border of the Union, protecting the sharing information between law enforcement when it comes to securing the internal Schengen area. I was there for 4 years, and now 2 years ago I moved to Bucharest, where I'm now leading the ECCC. It's an important challenge. It's a new body of the Union, a new agency, a lot to be built, it's also give us the possibility to be directly involved in helping Europe to become more competitive, more secure.
It is indeed the ECCC recently established body.
Yeah.
Now, the question would be, why was Bucharest chosen to be the home of the ECCC and what is its governance model?
Yeah, Bucharest was chosen, as is normally the case when new bodies are established. There is a competition between member states to decide where the agency need to be located. Romania made a good offer, and I'm happy that in the end the decision was to move the center here in Bucharest. And we are, I think, 51, 52 agencies plus all the institutions around Europe in many member states. We are the first one in Romania. We hope to be, or not the last one. We hope there will be the possibility for Romania to host new agency, new body. Now there is a decision also on the custom agency. We hope, of course, to have another agency here with us. The role of the governance that you mentioned, as we are not working alone. We work with the 27 member states. Each member state has one representative in our governing board, so 27. And we also have a network of competence center. These are 29, so the 27 member states plus 2, plus Iceland and Norway, which are associated countries, and they are also part of the network. So the governing board is responsible for the strategic decision. They're responsible for the budget approval. They are responsible for the policy decision for the center. Within the ECCC, I and the other manager are responsible for the day-to-day administration of the center, representing the center. We're the legal responsible for signing contracts, signing award, and staff matters. So this is how generally the regulation is organized in all the other agencies. Commission is also very important. It's an important part of the board. They have voting right at the board, but they're also our partner in basically all the strategic decision together with the member state.
And what is, in short, the mission of the ECCC and the current state of play regarding its achievements so far?
Well, I like to describe them in three main missions. One is to really help Europe and the critical infrastructure to become more resilient. So we do this through large-scale projects. The second mission is to make our company more competitive on the global economy, especially looking at the cyber industry. And the third mission is to promote research and innovation. These are the three core activities that we do. We do then, if I can briefly go to the different activity, we help Europe to become more resilient, supporting and creating systems which help protecting the infrastructure. For example, as part of the Cyber Solidarity Act, a number of cross-border SOCs, cross-border hubs. We help industry to become more competitive, providing funds, providing expertise that help them to compete better on the global market. So we promote implementation and market and the uptake of technology for the industry. And we help the research by sponsoring and leading the Horizon Europe activity, which is the largest research program in the world. So these are the three main things. What we have achieved so far? I mean, we've been, as you mentioned at the beginning, only recently established. We became financial autonomous a year and a half ago. So it's really, we are at the beginning of our journey. We have now managing more than 200 projects. So it's a large portfolio of projects ranging from training and small projects for SME to large activity, including the cross-border hubs, including the now upcoming testing infrastructure for quantum. So these are very large activity. So we have more than 250 projects. We have launched 3 of the major procurement, the one on quantum and a procurement on these cross-border hubs. And we have finally started the creation of our cyber community. The regulation, Miruna, asked us to create a community of companies around Europe. And we want to create a community for facilitating interaction, business opportunity, to break the barrier between the individual market. We started finally the registration of the community at the end of 2025. This would be our main focus for 2026. We want to build on this community.
Speaking of community, how does the ECCC interact with the member states, and what is its relationship with the national coordination centers?
Yeah, it's a partnership. So we interact with them regularly as part of our governing board discussions, as part of our governing board interaction. We interact with the member state through the NCC, to the National Coordination Center, regularly. They receive funds from the ECCC to create activity on the ground, at the member state level. We attend their event, we coordinate the message, we coordinate the invitation for the calls. So we really work in partnership with them to ensure that we are able to reach every individual member state market. So this is the key. It would be difficult for us to reach each individual company in the member state. The NCC, the National Coordination Center, has got exactly this role. So I would call it really a partnership, not only a business relationship, but it's an important element of how we reach all the company around Europe.
So it's like a liaison.
Yeah, they are physically, they are a small entity, generally within the cyber agency in the member state. In other cases, which is the case of Romania, for example, separate from the digital agency, but in a way responsible under one minister responsibility. So these are 3, 4, 5, 6 people, depending on the size of the member state, or 10 people. They organize event, they organize what we call financial support to third parties. So they receive funds for this, the micro enterprise, the company that are really too small for applying to funds. So this is really the way they work. They often are what we have seen in 25, and I'm really happy about that development. We have seen them more and more interacting with each other and creating partnership consortium between member states. Now, next week, for example, we will be going to Estonia, where there will be an event with more NCC together, the Baltic and the Nordic countries together. So I think this is an element of this cooperation, which maybe was not initially foreseen, but which gives an additional value to this activity. So not just one country alone, but 2 or 3 countries or 4 or 5 countries together to reach the market, because in some member states the market is already integrated. So it makes sense that this NCC are also working together. So we hope to see this more and more often in the future.
And also maybe to take some examples of good practice, because Estonia has had great results on the digital level.
Yes,
so maybe we can have some good practice implemented in other member states.
Yeah, no, that's exactly correct. I mean, the community also will serve about that. The NCC, they meet regularly to exchange best practices. We need to make this a more regular exercise.
Now, I would like to talk a bit about the governing board and how they take the strategic decisions.
Yeah, the governing board, against 27 member states plus the Commission, is at the moment chaired by a colleague from Luxembourg, Pascal Steichen. He's been already renewing his mandate, and the deputy chair, Katarzyna from Poland. They make decision generally. I mean, this is the approach they try to have in all the interaction with the governing board by consensus. So the governing board meet 3 times a year. The ECCC prepare the agenda together with the chair, and during the day and a half of discussion, decide and agree on some of the key decisions for the center. Now, you rightly mentioned one of the most important activities of the governing board, which is to set priority and strategic decision. We have now a 3-year strategy and work program approved. So I go back to the moment when we have to do this document. So the governing board decided by setting initial high-level priority through discussion within themselves and during the meeting. This is further refined until we come up with a version which is the one representing the view of all the members. So I try to always have, unless it's really impossible, to have consensus, because that's the way that we need to build later on the action. It's easy to push something with a vote, but we want to ensure that when something is approved, it's then also implemented. So they do this. I mean, they are expert in negotiation, and we do this through negotiation online, in presence, with exception with ad hoc meeting. And we have been able to already update the work program a couple of times, which means that there is already a routine in how we do that. Lately, we need to reassign some funds, so we engage with the governing board with a survey, and then we will look at the results, and with iteration come up with a final conclusion. Sometimes the process is long, but that's the only way that we have to put around the table 27 interests plus commissions amount interest, and ensuring that there is a fair distribution of funds, because we are talking about taxpayer money. We want this money to be used properly for the benefit of the European company and for the benefit of Europe as a whole in terms of critical infrastructure.
Now, you've mentioned these responsibilities of the ECCC, and one of the main responsibilities is precisely that, the strategic investments in cybersecurity. Now, going further, how is this implemented in practice, and what does the center's project portfolio look like?
Yeah, at the moment, the project portfolio, I mean, we have projects which are in the already, let's say, managed, let's say more than 200. The priority for the next 2-3 years are on sponsoring, again, research on AI and quantum. This is a number one priority. Making sure that the companies are ready for the upcoming legislation, Cyber Resilience Act, Cyber Solidarity Act, NIS2 regulation, so providing funds for the member state for training, for reporting platform, and so on. And then we have funds for dual-use technology, a small amount, and funds for, we had recently finished a project on hospitals. Hospitals are one of the critical elements of our economy that often is attacked and does not have the technology to resist cyber attacks. So a large part of our budget in 2025 was on hospital. And then there is one part on building on the hub, which I mentioned before. Another large, important, and interesting project that we just launched is on undersea cable. Romania now recently got selected for the cable on the Black Sea. We are building a number of hubs which will protect undersea cable from cyber attacks. So this is also an important part of our portfolio for 26 and 27.
Could you provide some examples of projects that best illustrate deployment at scale?
Well, I think the one that I really like to mention is the testing infrastructure for quantum. This is the first example in Europe. We want to create a space for our companies, startups, and large companies to test their algorithm. And we want to do them in Europe with European technology and with a very low price or even free access. So this is one, and this will be completely run by us with a procurement. So there is not a grant. It's something we are selecting at the moment. And I think this is one of the examples where we could work for the benefit of the old company using European funds. So this is one example I like to refer.
Are there any incentives for SMEs for facilitating their participation in projects, or would there be any tips and tricks for applicants?
Yeah, thanks, Miruna, because that's of course an important part of our mission is to support SME. So around 50% of the funds so far went on SME. How do we make this more interesting for them? Because there is of course the cost of applying to the grants. So we do them by increasing the rate of sponsorship. So with the grants, if you're an SME, you get 75% of the overall cost of the project versus 50%. So that's the main reason why SME should apply to the project. We like to see, it's getting more and more competitive because the program is more known. The ECCC is known now in the industry. We get a lot of application, and not all the application can be successful. But a few tips I can give is to ensure that when you present your project proposal, you're matching what are the overall goal that the call for proposal gives. So how do you align yourself with your project to the overall goal of the ECCC and all the call? We like to see diversity also in how you build your own consortium. It's difficult for a company to be able to fulfill all the task and activity requests in a project. So don't be shy to involve other company, other individual, other organization in your project proposal to ensure that you are matching exactly what is requested. So I think these are the main tricks. The evaluation is done by external experts that we contracted, so they are expert in that, and they are normally doing the assessment, looking at the variety of parameters. But these are elements that I think are important to consider when you apply.
Crossing over to the legal part, how does the ECCC support the cybersecurity legislation?
Yeah, well, we are not involved in of course, the legislation, the drafting. This is for the co-legislator. Our main role here is making sure that when company get ready for implementing the legislation, or member state get ready, they have the possibility to use technology which help them. So this is why some of the projects are focusing on that, and they have also the possibility to have best practices to look at. So it's more on the implementation side rather than on the drafting or preparation of the legislation.
Building the European cyber community is a top priority, especially now in this international climate. Could you tell us a little bit about the Atlas?
Yes. Yeah, the Atlas is our platform for company. We just launched. It was launched in the end of 2025. We have so far not so many applications, but this is about to pick up rather quickly. The Atlas is a platform that uses database at national level. So we ask company, for example, in Romania, to register through the NCC Romania. The NCC does a first checks and then pass the information to us. So this is why the process is picking up just now, because we are in a phase in which member states are collecting data and company records at national level. We have big ambition on the Atlas, so we really want to make the Atlas a digital common market, European common market for cyber-related technology. The Atlas will be open also for university, anybody who has a vested interest in cyber, also on the receiving end. So if you're a company which is subject to the NIS2 regulation, the CRA, you could be a member of the Atlas. We want to use as an opportunity, as I mentioned before, of them to find partner. We want to use an opportunity to collect feedback as part of our strategy. So currently the strategy and the work program is done by discussing with the member state. We need to also include the community in this discussion. So where do the industry see priorities? And this is why the Atlas is important to feed us this part of information that at the moment is only obtained in an indirect way. So this is why the Atlas is an important element of our strategy. This year is the year where we focus on building the community and seeing the community engaging with each other.
Let's stay a bit in this area of community.
Yeah.
And I think it would be very interesting to know, how does the ECCC work with other institutions,
Yeah.
for example, the European Commission or ENISA?
Yes. So we are the last arrival. I mean, we are the new agency, the new body. So ENISA has been now for 21 years, and the Commission for even longer. So clearly, when the regulation was done, it was done also by considering the roles and responsibility of the existing institution and body. So our regulation already include in its drafting the obligation for us to interact with them, with ENISA and the Commission, in a way that makes our effort less more efficient. So with ENISA we have very regular interaction. ENISA is in our governing board. We are also part of some of their advisory group. So we have this exchange, a formal exchange of information, but we also have daily discussion with our ENISA partner for some of the projects that we run together. We also joined recently an activity which is the Cybersecurity Challenge. It's a large-scale activity for teenagers, where the ECCC is also providing support. ENISA is the leading institution there. By the way, Team Europe, which is the team created with the European expert, is for the third time in a row world champion in this competition. Couple of months ago in Tokyo, we won for the third time. So congratulations and kudos to them and to ENISA also, who helped them to prepare. So for them, there is a regular interaction with the Commission as well. DG Connect is our partner DG. They are in our board. They take part of all our discussion. They are part of all our decisions daily, on a daily basis. So clearly, we cannot do without them. We have to be there to do. We are Team Europe, all of us, not just the teenagers, but also we are Team Europe. We also interact with the EDA, the Defense Agency. We interact with the CERT EU. So we are part of the network of agency, and we help each other to make sure that we fulfill our program.
Now, speaking about this, does the ECCC also interact with non-EU members?
We are asking our regulation, to actively look for exchange of information. So we have few MOU with Moldova, with Ukraine, and we're looking for in the future to do more. We do them in the context of exchanging best practices and exchanging information. There is obviously not a formal role for them in the DEP, in the Digital Euro program. There is no part of them in the governing board, but we want to build this also looking ahead and the future when hopefully there will be a full EU member state. So this is our main interaction.
Looking ahead, what would be the ECCC's priorities for the coming years, and if there are any challenges in particular that you foresee?
Yeah. So the priority are, well, we need to keep up with the existing projects. So we need to continue and run the projects. This year we'll reach 250 projects, and then we will start seeing a small decrease because projects come to conclusion. So number one priority to ensure that we deliver on this project in time and with a proper budget, so that the funds are used properly. The second priority would be to build on the atlas and having really them being part of how we design our strategy. We want this year also to organize a beneficiary conference at the end of the year, where we invite the company who have successfully delivered project. We want to have them presenting to the other industry to create like a virtuous circle of exchange of information with them. And then the last priority is preparing the future. We are linked to this MFF, which is finishing in 2027. How do we ensure that we bridge this to the future to ensure that the funds will continue, the project will continue, and this will become a permanent activity in the European Union.
What are the capabilities that each member state should have by 2027, would you say?
I think the capability are really linked by the regulation. So what's in the NIS, what's in the CRA. So these are the minimum capability we want member states to have, and this they have to have by law. I think there is more and more an interest in investing in also preparing the SMEs and the micro and the industry in general to be better prepared, even if they are not part of the NIS2 perimeter or the CRA perimeter. So this is a part of investment where we really need them to focus. There is a part of awareness. Cyber is not only a technical element, is not just something reserved for IT people, but it's become part of a strategy of every industry. So awareness building is also essential.
And lastly, what would your top 3 bets be for 2026 and 2027?
My top 3 bets, you mean?
Top 3 bets like Gen AI, post-quantum transition,
I think,
subsea infrastructure.
I think hybrid threats is an increasing element that we need to consider. So going back to the fact that it is not just the technical, but it's strategical and survival somehow part of us of a long-term strategy of a company. So the hybrid part for member state and for let's say government, quantum is the quantum transition is another key element for protecting information, for protecting telecommunication and data. and all the generative AI on what concerns, let's say, social media attack or attack. So these are, let's say, the three areas where I see that we need to focus, and everyone need to do their part.
We should do this interview again end of 2027 and see.
You can come anytime.
Thank you so much, and thank you so much for sharing all this valuable information with us today.
And thank you for the time.
And thank you all for watching. We will see you soon.